guys, and welcome to the free version of 3D Train Studio V6. Now, whilst we look around the config menu, I'll tell you about its two versions. There's a free version and a paid version. The paid version costs just under €50. The only difference between the two is the free version has a limit of 3 layers and a maximum of 150 objects per layout. You also cannot define your own tracks, share your layouts, or connect to an external app. You still have full access to all the assets and are free to build what you like. As you can see from the config menu, it's fairly simple. Now, these are the routes people have shared, so they must have the full version. So you could browse the community version. So these are the thumbnails of what you can make, the sort of things you can make. We're going to open one up in a sec. Yeah, that was my test one. My first quick go. Right, so what you get a board. On that board you make something. So obviously this is what someone else has made. There are events, so you can have triggers and things, so one thing can trigger something else. I've not looked into that too much. You can actually control each app from another PC or actually an Android device as well. Now what we're looking here is set cameras. So you can also set up cameras on here. You actually do see them, which is a little frustrating. But then you set the number keys up for them and then just press the number keys, which I'm doing. You see a camera right in front of you there. So top left now I've put the FPS on, it's going to be 60. The graphics are quite limited. As you saw from the config, I did put it up to maximum. But for what is essentially a free game, now you won't be able to make something this big with it being with the free version, but you can make still a reasonably substantial game for a board with 150 objects, as you're going to see. Right, I think it's time now to make our own board. So how easy is it? So you click on New Layout. You get this. You can choose the size, and then you double click on it, and then we're going to change the colour of the board. So it starts off as wood, we're going to choose something else. The properties of everything you do is always bottom right. You see, I've just done the size. Now we're going to higher up. So you click on height mode, use your mouse to choose those little green arrows, then you shift click up and down. Now because it's supposedly on a piece of wood, you can't go lower than the board itself. Now I think each board is a layer. I think that's what they mean by layers. You can't have 3 layers, more than 3 layers in the free version. We're actually going to just use 1. Now for our assets it's 150. Now my presumption is that each track piece is counts as one of these assets, so you want to use as least amount as possible. So if you can, just extend it like I'm doing here. The placing of track isn't too hard. You can see you've got set pieces, but then you can readjust them to however you want them. When you get that blue arrow, you click on there, it becomes a white square, and you can drag it to however you want. But or you've got the lines just in front and to the side and up. If you press the up one, you actually raise the track up. Now I think I could have done it better than I've done it here, with less pieces. But it's together. What you'll see here, so we get there, we click on the blue icon, then we're going to pull that round. Then we pull the arrow up, we've raised it up. It's fairly simple, really. Now, track piece will always start off, or I think any asset will always start off at the layer height. So even if you raise the ground like I have to the sides, it would actually go straight down to the base level. I think that's where they want you to use layers. And for that you'd add another layer, you'd add another board on top. Now boards can actually be see-through as well, I've noticed. Now you'll notice in that piece of track, it's highlighted a little bit lighter colour going left. That's the way the points are going, because it doesn't really have proper blades, this game. So it shows the direction. Now I've wasted 3 bits of track here. I could have just extended it all the way around. Now I don't know if you can just attach it like that. So I decide to add some more points in. That's probably a waste actually. Of a good asset which can be used for something else. And then I find it won't connect here either, so I have to use another piece. Raise it up. And it's just a matter of getting it to the correct angle. They do snap. If you look at the top, you've got what looks like a pause and a play button. The 2 buttons to the left, I believe, if you press those, you can either get it to snap or not to snap. I think it's one snapping and something else, the other one does something else, I forget. Now once we've done this, in fact if you're going to see me do it now, there, you can actually get the ground to go to, well I suppose it's snapping to the level of the track. So it says adjust train. I don't know what the follow path is, but adjust train certainly does it, and then you say how wide you want it. I use it between 10 and 30. We do it all the way around, and then the hill's correct. A little more adjusting here. So again, we go into the height mode and move it about a bit. Now we've done that now, so we're going to put a little bit of water. I figured what we're going to do here, so why not then? We click on it, we change the length and the width, the bottom right, all the properties in the bottom right. Move that across a bit. Raise the land up over here. And I think, ooh, maybe we can have a bridge over the top of this, so I lower that down. Make that look a bit better as well. And we'll get rid of that little bit onto the right as well later on. So this is probably about 20 minutes later. I've been looking for bridges. I finally found one which is curved, and I couldn't find it for some reason. It's plainly there, but I didn't see it. This got stuck underneath, but luckily you can go underneath the board and do that and raise it up. It's not the exact radius I want, but it's good enough. Now we look for some pillars. Actually, this took me 10 minutes as well to find something. We start off with this one, and then I figured, yeah, it doesn't look very nice. You'll notice everything uses this these coloured circles, and the arrows go up and down. It just means you can change the angle of it and move it round and raise it up and down and stuff. I'll move this across a bit. We'll make the platform a little bit longer. Now I know from my little test go that the buildings, the base will be off the ground, so that's what that's for. That's why I've got that bit there. So we place the building here, just a tiny little station. Then we want something else. Now bearing in mind we've got 150 bits which we can use. A spline, something like this which you can extend, is a much better thing to use where possible. So you don't over-waste using extra bits from other things, you know, too many pieces. Now we're going to go back to the land. I think we are going to add an extra colour in now. Colour the track. Now, if you look at the bottom right, if you press the plus button down there, you can add an extra bit of colour in. Now, I'm assuming, again, this adds on to one of the assets. I assume only it counts as one. Not entirely sure, but my assumption is. Click on there, just like before. If you click the plus button instead on any of these, what it does is it gives you a matching bit of road or track or something. So if you've added a curve in and you add the plus, it will add another curve in, just exactly the same. To be honest, the controls are fairly simple. It's a pity there's no key binding, as you saw from the menu at the beginning. I've used an external application to do that. A lot of games just don't have it, and I just don't understand why. There are left-hand gamers out there. Like me. So we put a few buildings in. Just a few. Now, I was hoping this was going to be a spline like everything else, but it's not. But this is. So again, because we've got 150 pieces, if you're looking for fences, probably don't use a set piece. Use one, all the way across. Fills a nice large area. There we go, that looks reasonably okay. Now, I was looking for better boards. I was surprised that was a bit small. But actually, again, in the properties, you can actually enlarge in the smaller things. So I didn't realise I should have made that hill, for instance, a lot smaller. We could use one piece. In the end, we use 3. Most things, I think, actually everything can be. You can change the size of it. Yeah, that's good enough. We can hide it with some trees. So again, you down in properties on the second button this time, then you can actually change the height. Like scaling, just ×2 makes it bigger. ×3 would make it 3 times big. 0.5, I suppose, make a little sapling or something. As you can see, we're still under 150 here. Right, the next thing I decided, again, we've gone back to the colours, we're adding an extra one in. Just a little bit of mud here and there, or sort of, just to sort of show it off a bit, contour it, I suppose. And actual mud. We'll put this around the there, and we're going to make a field. Feels a nice large area. Farm, yes, find a farm, nice farm building at the end there. And of course, you've got to add a tractor with the farm, haven't you? A couple extra bits. A few more trees. And I finally found a hedge. It's not a great looking hedge, but it's a hedge. Put it across. You'll get from this point, you're probably seeing from this point, it's fairly simple to do. Once you've got the basics, that pretty much every asset is controlled the same way. Now, this was the train I was going to use originally. And this one, I just picked it because they look nice. But it's not the one we're going to use, unfortunately. Right, so I think we're going to use this. We're going to put some extra people, because I forgot to put anyone in. As there's a woman swimming, why not? Or is that a bloke swimming? That's a bloke swimming. Train spotter there. Now, I didn't show you putting these in, but you have to put those little things in to actually change the points over. So we put this in, and then we click them, and we have to connect them to something. So you have to connect them to those points. To use them in play mode, you just double click them. There we go. Click once, and you can see there's no actual blades, but you can see how the track works. Double click, it looks the other way. You can physically see which way it's aiming. Now at this point, I start the engine, and there's no sound. Why is there no sound still? Now I'll put this one on just to test. And there's sound. But there's nothing on this one. Now I end up testing a few, and some got sounds and some don't, which is... Tested this one. No sound. As you can see, you click on another tab on here, there are sounds, but they don't seem to work when you actually try the train out. There might be a way to connect them that I just don't know of, so it's either an error happened, or it's see, this one's got sound. And this one doesn't. And this one does. And this one does. Now I was nearly going to go with this one. But then I found this little thing, and I thought it'd be quite amusing to have this little tram here, pulling those two massive carriages there. So, bye-bye train. And here we are. This is what we made. And we're still under 150 assets. So you can't make a massive layout, but it's free. You don't pay anything. And I think it's okay. The graphics aren't the highest, but it should mean it can actually play on sort of low-end devices. And it's still fun to play. The water moves. The trees don't, which is a pity. I don't think they do. They're quite static. You could use it if you're actually making a layout. You could just put some track down and use all the 150 assets for that, to give you an idea what it'd look like. Or you can just play it online like I'm doing. I think there's certainly a certain amount of enjoyment with it. I question whether the full version is worth €50 or just under. I think it's 49.75, something like that. When you can get a game like Rolling Line for, what is that, £15, something like that. But the free version is very good value. It's not time limited in any sort of way. The controls are fairly easy to master. You know, I had one very quick go, and you know, I was quite happy just to do the video. It's never going to replace trains or Train Simulator, but I think for free, why not try it? Oh, my last thing I do here, I decided to try running two trains at once. It does have signals, this game. We haven't looked at those at all. This is a German game, so the signals are mostly German. It does have events also, so you can do things which trigger other things. I did play around with that, trying to get the sound for the trains to work, but I couldn't. I think there's for other things like maybe go over something, it triggers something. like the gates for the road, for instance. Yeah, we'll slow it down again. So there's more to it than I'm showing. But anyway, why don't you guys tell me what you think in the comments? I think for a free game it's very good. You see stuff like, you know, free games on Android, on iOS and stuff, but you generally don't on PC, not of this quality. I certainly think it's worth it. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.